Right guys, I've just been enjoying a bit of flying. I've come over on the e-bike, so it's good if you kind of lose a drone or something like that, you can just jump on here. I can listen to dogs in the background. It got me thinking, because I lost a drone over here about 3 months ago, and we obviously had like loads of kind of high winds, and I think it was like classed as a mini tornado at one point. And yeah, I lost a drone somewhere up in these trees, I think it was, but I could never find it. So I'm going to have another look, because a lot of these trees seem to have kind of fallen down now. So yeah, that's what we'll do. So yeah guys, it would be great to find it and just kind of see what kind of a state it's actually in, because I've kind of been trying to find another frame, you know, to mount my stuff on, but I don't know where it would be. It's definitely up there somewhere. That was kind of, these were the trees, I'm sure these were the trees. And then I'll kind of, you know, come along here. Oh, you're joking. I can see it. He's there. Look. Oh my God. That's crazy. The motors look like they're still turning as well. Battery doesn't even look like it's puffed. Right, we need to have a closer look at this. Right, I'm back now in the warm. How crazy is that? I can't believe I found this. I'm really excited about finding this because I really like the way this drone flies, this Emax Babyhawk 2 HD. So yeah, before I plug anything into this, because it's been, bearing in mind it's been probably immersed in water for the last 2 months, it doesn't look too bad, but what a great time to actually test out something that I've been sent. So I've just been sent one of these, digital microscope. It's basically like a inspection system with a screen on it, so you can actually kind of zoom in and have a look. So what I'm going to do is get this bad boy set up and then rip the top of this drone and then start looking to see if there's any reasons why I can't plug a battery into it, because I think right now I've spotted some kind of water damage on basically where the power goes into the board. I think it's on a couple of regulators there, so I think plugging a battery into this right now is probably just going to go up in smoke. So let's give it a proper inspection. Cleared the space for it over the back. Looks pretty cool. I just got the screen out of the box, so it's kind of all in one unit. That's the actual microscope lens and the screen, so the rest of it is really just the stand, I suppose. Right guys, I've stuck it together. Took about 10 minutes, pretty straightforward. But yeah, all fires up. It runs off of USB power. They don't give you a USB power supply in the box, so I'm running it off this battery one here. Doesn't take much power, showing 0.8 of an amp with the LED lights. You get this kind of like switch here which you can use to turn off various things, like, okay, that's turned the whole thing off. You can turn, you can set the brightness of the lights using that as well. But it boots up pretty quick, as you see. So yeah, let's check it out. It's actually pretty good. I think that's going to be pretty useful. We'll definitely be able to have a look at the drone PCB and see what's going on. So they're calling this a microscope, but obviously this isn't really microscopic at the moment. There's 2 other different lenses that come with it, which will make it behave much more like a microscope. Looks like it's got Wi-Fi as well, or maybe not, I don't know. And it also records, so this could be useful for the channel as well, because I can actually record footage here. I think it does just like 1080p, but if you want to do close-up stuff, that could be quite good. Right, so I've flipped it over to one of the other lenses you get with it. This one, the L lens, is what they're saying, you know, is useful for doing PCB stuff. It's recording as well. I've put the SD card in, so it's recording. You can see the state of this flight controller. It's horrible. This isn't the one that was stuck in the drone up the tree, but this is another one. So yeah, it reminds me of my old days of PCB kind of rework. I mean, this would have been pretty useful. You had to sort of sit there with a normal magnifying glass most of the time. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know if this lens, I mean this lens obviously for sort of close-up, really close-up stuff, sort of inspection, but maybe go back to the other one for just to get an overview. You can sort of play with this lighting as well, so obviously to get the best image, which is pretty cool. You want to obviously, you know, get the shadows right so that the image looks the best it can. It's really cool though, I'm really liking it. There's a menu system as well. I'm not sure exactly what Wi-Fi does. You can actually set up a Wi-Fi network, and you also get a remote as well, which is super useful, because obviously, you know, moving stuff around and pushing buttons on the screen then actually just, you know, affects everything. So you can use the remote instead. I haven't got any batteries for it though. that looks pretty good so far. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the top off of this drone and see if we can get access to the flight controller, the main bit where the battery comes in, so I can kind of inspect it and have a look. I'm going to disconnect my Walksnail VTX as well, and anything else that is feeding power from that main board, just so if something goes wrong, if there is something wrong with it and I power it up, it won't, you know, fry everything else. So yeah, and then we'll just have a closer look at the board and just see if it's, you know, potentially going to be recoverable. The motors seem alright, and the camera's probably going to have taken a hit, I reckon, with water. I reckon that's probably shot. But anyway, we'll find out. Oh yeah, there's the receiver in there as well, so I want to see if that's going to work. Start with all the frame screws on the top. Hopefully this top panel will just completely come off and I can... That's stuck in there now. Right, it's under the microscope. I've got my toothbrush so I can clean up the PCB. Let's start recording by pressing that button. There we go, guys. So just have a quick look. See, there's quite a bit of dirt on it, but and a few bugs that have been woken up. It's nothing horrendous I can see, you know, just off the bat. That bit there is probably like I had to take a bit of adhesive off. There's this big electrolytic capacitor there. But yeah, I mean, you know, it doesn't look terrible. Look at him, little bug. That's it, make your way out. Right, so I'm going to give it a good old scrub with this first, and then I'm going to stick some isopropyl on it and just try and clean this up a little bit. But right now, I'm not seeing anything that I'm really massively worried about. So, you know, and this receiver as well. You see this receiver? See, I don't know why those. I don't know why those are blue. Perhaps they were like that anyway. I don't know. So obviously this is a double-sided PCB, so I need to check the other side as well. And on these, they actually have like a sort of a plastic coating, like a plastic sort of shield to stop water going in when you land, which is pretty useful. So I'm going to have to obviously rip that out. Might be better just taking the flight controller out completely. But if I do that, I'm going to struggle with the motor wires and stuff. So let's see if I can get that that plastic film off the bottom. Alright, so I've just cleaned the top side of this board up. Some of my soldering joints here are shocking. So I need one of these things. It's a lot cleaner now, and there's nothing here that I can see that really is going to make me really worried. I suppose maybe that's the thing about rainwater, is it's actually pretty pure. It's not got any nastiness in it, so it's not really shouldn't cause too many problems. So where the power comes in, you've got positive there across those two caps. So I'm pretty confident with that. We need to sort of flip it over really and just have a look underneath. So I've managed to take that plastic screen off the bottom, and actually that looks like it's actually protected it pretty well. There's no water damage on this side whatsoever. I mean, there's not really anything on the other side, but yeah, so I'm pretty confident. I'm just going to plug this in. I'm just going to plug it into a battery and just see what happens. Here it goes. Can you believe it? Can you believe that works after 3 months out in the rain? That's insane. Okay, so the receiver's powered up as well, so I'm just going to go and grab a transmitter and just make sure that's all okay. See, the next thing is going to be whether the video transmitter works. We'll see how durable Walksnail is. Receiver's green. I've got all my telemetry as well. How amazing is that? To be fair, I probably could have just plugged that in. Now, will the motors start? Yeah, it did. Have I been cut? Very slightly. Now the question is now, is the video transmitter going to work? I just plugged it in. Can't remember where the LED is on this. There. I need to grab the goggles, stick the antennas on my Walksnail system. And this is the whole reason this blooming drone crashed, actually. This system. But no, that's a bit unfair. I don't think it was. I think it was something to do with, well, it is working. No, it is working. There's a looks like it's a bit misty. The image looks a little bit misty. Okay, so maybe the camera just has got a bit of condensation in. Maybe that'll go over time. But yeah, it's basically working, guys. I mean, I'm super impressed by that. It's all back together and it works. Can you believe that? That's absolutely amazing. I'm super stoked for this because I love this drone, the way it flies. And just before I binned it and put it in the tree last time, I actually changed the props over to these HQ props, these 3-inch props. It's just so quick. So that all turned out well, guys. I think I'm going to find the microscope really useful. Look, I'm even using it over there to see what size props I've got on the tiny little writing on them. But yeah, guys, it's a great bit of kit. Go check it out. I can't remember how much they said it was now, but it's on Amazon, so I'll leave the link in the description. What more can you say? It's a really good tool. There were some other bits and pieces in the box as well, which I didn't show you. There's some like slides, so you can actually use it as a proper microscope and, you know, view slides. There's some like dragonfly wings and stuff in there to look at. Reminds me of my childhood with the old Tasco microscopes. Anyway, guys, it was nice to use it in a real life situation and it done the job perfectly. Hope you've enjoyed this one. I'll catch you next time.